Back to the MCU, we're talking about that. Recently, a book came out called MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios, and author Joanna Robinson has a quote from Feige that suggests the MCU will be rebooted with Secret Wars. Now, this adds weight to what we've been hearing over the last couple of months from leaks and insiders, basically saying, that Secret Wars is going to be a soft reboot and we're going to have an all new Marvel after Avengers 6, which is Secret Wars. So the quote is, Feige had to learn different lessons from the comics, how superheroes periodically needed to be rebooted, how to stop variants and spin-offs from spiraling out of control, and how an annual mega crossover event could unify a disparate line of characters. So you take all that information and you see how the MCU is on, how the state of the MCU is today in terms of quality. It was very solid those first 3 phases, and now we're starting to see the cracks. We're starting to see things come out of control. Too many projects, too many characters, variants all over the place. What do you think of this? Is this the right approach for the MCU and it's after this saga, multiverse saga?
Depends how much content's coming out.
Mm.
If it's the same as phase 4, 5, 6, and 7, 6, whatever, then no, you're just going to get more of the same, really, but just with a different sort of refreshing take to it, probably different characters.
Yeah.
If they're going to strip it all the way down, maybe 2 shows a year and 3 movies a year, building up towards a phase, and then having that phase build up to another phase with the bigger goal at end, then sure, yes, it would definitely work. But for now, that it just seems like as if they're going phase for phase right now, and I feel if they do reboot it, that's exactly what they're going to do until they can figure out what story they want to tell. I don't think the MCU should be rebooted with the X-Men coming in. You got X-Men vs. Avengers there. That is a big film. They'll make them a whole lot of money if done right. So I think it's a bit too early to reboot in that sense. When I hear the word reboot, I assume that we're going to get Iron Man and Captain America, Steve Rogers, but different actors play. That's the point of a reboot. But they can continue this version of MCU using the X-Men characters, because they now have those characters, which we haven't seen yet. So it's a bit stupid to reboot it now after Secret Wars, when you have like pretty much 2, 3, 4 phases of X-Men to get through to build to that Avengers vs. X-Men thing. So maybe reboot it after that.
I think when you hear reboot in this, I think it has been described as a soft reboot. So it would continue the events of what's happened in the last 6 one, but just I think in terms of the timelines and the multiverse, everyone's going to go back to their universe. The timeline's going to go back as one, not all these different timelines. And I think basically Feige is just going to cut the characters that no one's resonating with, that no one likes, and just come in with a scale back massively, because there's way too many characters, and just have kind of the core 6 as we had it with the first Avengers. I think that's definitely the right approach, because it's just way too much in the MCU. We can't keep track of everything now. Even people like us that follow this kind of news, there's just way too much going on. There's way too much characters. There's not enough time to explore these characters for us to get invested in. And if you want to have the time, then it's too much time for us, the consumer, to be consuming MCU content. We need spaces between it. I think the soft reboot is the right approach. I think they should have had the X-Men in when they got the rights. I don't know why what are we waiting for?
Oh no.
I don't get it. Maybe they've had a plan, I guess. But if they're going to do a soft reboot, I think you need to honor that and actually have some time between Secret Wars and whatever the next MCU movie is. Like, have your soft reboot and then start from scratch, plan from the beginning, and I guess take 5, 6, 7, 8 years off. I mean, I'm being serious. We're constantly hammered with MCU content. Imagine if it goes for 5 years. That
gap.
Yeah, you're going to be wanting to see more MCU again.
Just like in COVID.
In COVID was...
It's like 2 and a bit years, but seeing Black Widow was
it was 2 years,
I was like, cool, finding MCU on the big screen.
Yeah. So, we didn't get it on the big screen because it debuted on Disney+.
Black Widow, we saw it in theaters.
Really?
Shang-Chi and Eternals we didn't.
Oh, because that's when we went into lockdown there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So, but that still wasn't enough time. At that point, I had wanted to see MCU again, but when it came back, it was just, oh yeah, this is it. You know what I mean? I quickly adapted to it. If it was a longer gap, I would have been like, oh yes, let's go. But yeah, I think a soft reboot is the way to go with this. It really depends on how they would do it and like what characters they would want to end. But I think we were discussing this last week. They really need to establish who the Avengers are and what the team is.
Who's the leader?
Yeah, because we don't even know yet. We might know by the end of the Marvels. But yeah, we need a different one. And I mean, speaking of that, you're obviously going to have a sequel saga to the Multiverse Saga. It will just look very different in terms of the MCU as we know it right now. Do you want the Avengers versus X-Men to be kind of the next saga or next phase or after that?
Nah, because they still need to take on Galactus. So it might be like a couple phases away.
You think Galactus can work?
No. No. Galactus is a being that eats planets, and Silver Surfer did a horrendous job of portraying that. So I don't think it can work. But if Thanos can work, then I'm sure Kevin Feige can find a way to make Galactus work.
Well, Thanos is easy to make work. He can stand on the Earth.
That's true, yeah.
He doesn't eat planets.
That's true. I don't know. But if there's anyone that could make it work, it'll be Feige. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah.
I do love the idea of, in terms of the reboot, scaling back and stop having so much characters and power. Like, if Thanos dropped down now to get the Infinity Gauntlet, he'd be destroyed in seconds. Wanda's stronger. You got Gaia now, Jaya, whatever her name is. You got Captain Marvel. You got so much characters. They could all just come together and destroy him instantly.
Yeah, just those three characters alone.
Yeah.
In fact, you don't even need the three characters. Drop in Gaia. She has every power for every Avenger ever. So
I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I just know that she's powerful. But yeah, honestly, like, you could just... So the threat can't always be like... You can't have your threat always be bigger than the next, because at some point it reaches a capacity where it gets to stupid levels like Galactus. Galactus is going to have to be... He's going to have to stand on the ground. Like, he can't be standing on the sky and eating things like tennis balls or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how you do it. But yeah, I think the soft reboot is the best approach. Bigger and bigger's not always better, in my opinion. Yeah. Anything else to add on to that one?
Nah.
No?
Just like an MCU.
How you,
Just end it.
So maybe, you want to end the MCU?
Right now, end it, yeah.
So maybe you do want to reboot then?
It could work, but you still got so much more content to tell.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just more interesting content than what we're getting now.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know if you will think it's a good idea, but it's just one of those thoughts, when you're driving, that the MCU should be, and I'm not saying I believe in this idea, but the idea MCU rebooted after every saga, which is like 3 phases. Could you buy into that?
Depends on what the reboot is.
Well, obviously a comic book storyline covering an entire saga, and then phases have other comic book storylines that are smaller, but yeah.
Depends how long stuff is. I mean, if it's as long as the first phase, which spanned 3 years, then probably no. But if you talk about a phase as in 10 years, which is Infinity Saga, then yeah, that could work.
Yeah, so sagas are the big 10-year long ones. Just reboot it. So, the first phase is like the origin story to 6 characters. They come together, and then that's the Avengers again or something like that.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. Other than this thing that just keeps building bigger and bigger. Yeah, that was an idea. Feige, take notes. Nah. But yeah, my thoughts on the MCU are kind of, at an all-time low like you. Although do watch Loki, man. Loki is really good. One of the only good things of Marvel lately.
Maybe I'll wait till just before the last episode watches, then I can like binge it in one weekend.
Yeah, and then we'll give it our review.